No eating in the pool. Tell that guy there's no eating in the pool. What is that, pimento? What is that, pimento cheese? What are you eating? What is that? Sir, what is that? No eating in the pool.
You know, with all the things that's going on at Warner Discovery, you know, you've heard people criticize the whole situation of how much of the content has been removed, all these animated series and TV series, Babylon 5 and all that. But you're noticing that they're finding new homes. Especially like you can find a lot of it on Tubi TV as well. You know, you can find Westworld, re-airing of the original episodes of Westworld, Babylon 5, and many others have joined the Tubi TV family over on their Fast Channel site. And they've been doing very well with this. Fast Channel, it's even growing faster than anticipated over on Fast Channels. But what about the channels on that Warner and Discovery own themselves? What are they doing with it? Well, we got some good news to one of the big favorites that people do enjoy, fans alike, the Adult Swim block that happens on Cartoon Network. But before we get into this from Deadline, I just want to thank those of you who have shared these videos, clicked on it, liked, subscribed. We're working our way to get to 700 here on YouTube and higher on all of our other social media platforms. So, could be today is the day that I've earned your subscription. I hope so, because it is very important. We need your subscriptions to go further and sharing these videos. You know, because there are some subject matters that are rarely talked about. This is one of them that not so many people have talked about yet. Or maybe by the time the video hits, some people will see it and they'll start talking about it. Because we have to get this into the mainstream, because it is important. So once again, thank you very much. From Deadline, as Adult Swim gets to add an hour of daily programming, President Michael Owenstein sees Warner Discovery in a more settled post-merger state. We're all feeling more possibility. And this is true. Adult Swim moving to 7 p.m. Eastern. Think about that for a minute, folks. Think about that. After months of upheaval following the close last April of Warner Media and Discovery $43 billion merger, Michael Owen sees a much more settled operating environment taking its shape in 2023. We're all feeling more possibility this year. The president of Cartoon Network, Adult Swim, Boomerang, and Discovery Kids told Deadline in an interview. Last year was hard for the entire media sector. Owen took his current role in 2022 after having previously overseen Kids and Family Networks during a 27-year run at Warner Brothers Discovery, Warner Media, and Time Warner. He is now spearheading an expansion of the Adult Swim programming by 1 hour a day, starting nightly at 7 p.m. as of May 1st. The Step Up for Cartoon Network block is headlined by Unicorn Warriors Internal, a new show from Glenn Tartakovsky, who directed the first 3 Hotel Transylvania movies and the previous cartoon Adult Swim shows as Primal, Dexter's Laboratory, and Samurai Jack. Remember, Tartakovsky was the one who is one of the people that put Adult Swim on the map. Remember that. The first 2 Unicorn episodes premiere on May 4th on linear, will stream on HBO Max the next day. Throughout his 3 decades at the company, Owen said animation has always occupied a unique place in the corporate portfolio. We've always been in iteration of this company, been this little animation operation in Atlanta, Georgia, he said. We're sort of inventing our own set of rules because we weren't in New York and weren't in LA. And that's the truth on that. The arrival of WB CEO David Zaslav has his large Discovery-based management team has generated headlines for decisions to jettison a number of film and television projects, even some fully produced titles, in the name of attaining $4 billion in overall cost savings. Streaming service HBO Max has seen selections of its library pared down ahead of the launch this spring of a rebranded service that will include components of Discovery Plus. The DNA we share with Discovery is that they fully understand certain genres, so they understand how we operate in that way. They understand the strong brands, Olewin said. They are surprised at our strength. It looks on the surface like it's a niche thing, but it's not mass. The one learning curve for them and for me, conversely, is that most of Discovery's content is very quickly made and they can make tons of it. Animation takes 2 years, hundreds of people. It is still handmade, though obviously we have digital tools. Our stuff takes longer to make, but also airs forever. And that's the truth. A little bit more time, you get a better product. You know, this is what the other companies don't understand. This is why Adult Swim, Toonami, has been successful for many, many years. About 4% of the total 2022 tune-in to the Adult Swim last year, for example, accounted for Aqua Teen Hunger Force, which hasn't had an original series produced since 2015. The long tail of animation is one that interests to the company, and it's one I need to keep repeating because it's so bizarre to them. So it's been an education on both sides. When it came to adding more programming to Adult Swim, Olewin says, WBD management told him, the thing you do really good, please do more of it. So they are very bullish. Certain trends at the kids and family networks have to fit in the overall WB strategy, which tends to seek the balance between still a lucrative, leaner operations and an emergence of streaming. Adult Swim, which debuted in 2001 as a program block on Cartoon Network, generated 3.3 hours a week of viewing among all viewers in 2022. Adults have gravitated to the network in the early fringe, well before the previous 8 p.m. start to Adult Swim. From 6 p.m. to 8 p.m., 68% of Cartoon Network viewers were over the age of 18. HBO Max data is kept closer to the vest, but Adult Swim and Cartoon are set to be the foundation elements in the rebranding of the service. And that is a good thing to hear. That is when you hear something like this from the company, that they want to go back to its origins and see that they expand what they had before, expand on that, and create more of it. That's how you rebuild the network. Cartoon Network hasn't been doing well in the last couple of years. None of these kids networks, where it's Boomerang, Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon, Disney Channel, they've all been failing in the last decade. They've seen a decline. Where it's not declining is Adult Swim. The only reason it hasn't raised any further is because Adult Swim has also gradually been losing a lot of viewers due to the fact that some of the programming on there is not like it used to be. But you bring back what made the company rolling back in the day, you will bring back the fans that were there. Competition in the animation sector has long been fierce, and major push by Netflix and Apple in recent years have ramped up the intensity. Still, Olewin sees 2022 the peak of competitive free-for-all. Now I feel there's been a correction, he said. The animation bubble hasn't burst. It's certainly calmed down a bit. We are not having problems seeing projects or talent. Unlike pure streaming rivals, the WBD, that's going to be hard to do every time, mix of linear and digital can allow for some comprehensive research on audience segments and how the best to position shows. Olewin invoked the Cornerstones series as an example. If we were launching Rick and Morty today on any one platform, I don't know if we could make it a hit, he said. The benefit we had is we could use linear and use Max over seasons to build the fandom. Season 2 of Primal, the engaged levels on both linear and streaming jumped up quite a bit because we are serving a couple of different audiences. And that's true. Primal, I'm just getting through the first season of it. Finally, I'm just getting into Primal. It has been a great. I mean, Tartakovsky can make a series and not use any scripting. You understand this? Just like Samurai Jack, you don't have a major script to the show. You have the story, but you don't have to say anything to promote the show itself. That you don't have to sit there and have someone talking, but you can have the actions of what they do is the story itself, the engagement of the story. The engagement levels on both linear and streaming jumped quite a bit because we're serving a couple of different audiences. We said that already. Sometimes, he added, the results can be completely unexpected. We've had titles that skewed female on linear and skew male on streaming or vice versa. He said with a laugh, it's title dependent and I can't make heads or tails of it. With consolidation orders of the day in 2022, Olween said Cartoon Network and Adult Swim teams have been working closely together in recent months, mainly under the same roof in Atlanta. I'm glad to hear that they're back in Atlanta. But the operation is still synergized with not combining with the WBD divisions like Warner Brothers Animation or DC. The key to his network sovereignty and durability, the executive said, is to go back to the origin of the Cartoon Network in the 1990s. That is the truth. The reason why Cartoon Network, Adult Swim, and Toonami was successful is because they were there in Atlanta. They ran on their own. They were their own company. That's why the app itself was a great app. You had shows, you had podcasts that were on the adult, and that's the one thing they need to bring those back. Is those live shows that they used to put on the Adult Swim app. You had an audience for that, and then you got rid of it because you were pulling things out of Atlanta left and right, and that was AT&T's fault. There's still an audience for us in linear, and it's not who maybe people presume, but it's never been who people presume, he said. I've joined 4 years in 1996, and even back then the people were like, oh, you're running cartoons, so it must be all kids all the time. But we were the third adult without kids, and that's why we launched Adult Swim. More than 2 decades later, he continued, we still have the people showing up, and we're still bucking the trends. And that is correct. Adult Swim, Toonami have been on the forefront of entertainment even before the internet. You know, as the internet was growing, as the internet was being born, these sites were basically the forefront. You wanted to see something good overnight, you got to see it. The forefront of this business, of your business, WBD, is the fandom. That's the guys who will make you. This is the guy, and I said this before. They're moving the clock back to 7 p.m. Why not give an Adult Swim their own network? Take Boomerang, merge it with Cartoon Network, and give Adult Swim its own network. 24 hours a day. Guaranteed you will find the viewers. You will find the advertisers. A 24-hour-a-day Adult Swim. Classic stuff during the day and newer stuff on prime time. You can do this. If you're seeing people starting to show up at 6 p.m. to Cartoon Network and they're over the age of 18, what are they there for? They are there for the Adult Swim part of the programming. They're hoping that it would start early. And, you know, this was a long time coming. I'm surprised they did not bring back the side Toonami, because you had, what was it, The Rising Sun, I think it was called, on Saturday mornings, and then you had the the midnight run that they used to run. What was it? Friday nights, I think it was, on Cartoon Network. They used to get anime. Look at Toonami Aftermath, at the people that go to watch that. That is what people want to see. They want to see more of this stuff that was on Adult Swim, that on Toonami. They want that mixture in there. A channel that has both stuff from Japan and the United States all mixed into one network for the fans. Zaslav has the capability to do this, to build a bigger, stronger networks. And of course, he has the ability to build a better kids network for children as well. I haven't forgotten about the kids. The kids get their own stuff too. That's the reason why it's separation of the Adult Swim. Give the kids their own network. You know, you got the toddlers in the morning, you know, get the little kids in the morning and all that to kindergarten to baby to kindergarten to early grammar school. And you get the overall during the day. Into the evening, you get some of the newer stuff on there. And then overnight, you know, as they're supposed to be in bed, you throw in the Boomerang Classics. That's what you should do. Because you'll bring some people over to watch some of the Boomerang stuff, you know, Bugs Bunny and stuff like that over on there. So tell me in the comments below your thoughts about this. Because I think this is really good news for Linear. You know, Linear needs this push again. Because, you know, you look at this from this perspective. What's doing well right now? What is really doing well right now? Is channels like MeTV, Heroes and Icons, and a lot of these other channels. Why? Because people are watching more classics lately. Adult Swim has a lot of classic stuff on there and can add new programming to it. Just like MeTV. MeTV's got Spenguli every weekday on there. Now you have that other show with Lisa Welchett from Facts of Life that they do the... you know, they show all the, you know, people that have that collectible show on there. And you know they're going to be working on other shows on there. You know, you got the 3-hour block, you got the 3-hour Saturday morning block, you got the Tune In With Me, and many other things that they're working on over at MeTV. They're expanding. They got the money. They will do it. Zaslav is probably seeing this. And going back, you know, you got to go back. What was that line in Rocky 3? Is that we got to go back to the beginning. You know what we mean? If you remember that line from Rocky. And it's true. You got to go back to the beginning again. Do what made you strong. And it will make you stronger. So comment, subscribe, like, share. We'll see you on the next video. Thank you for clicking on this. And bye-bye now.